Justin Gray here, aka J Ace, is back with another episode of The Big Picture. Now, today's episode is special because I'm actually introducing you all to a new series under the Big Picture umbrella called TBP Real Talk, okay? And on Real Talk series, we're gonna talk about anything that's important and going on today, okay? Whether that be social issues, financial literacy, whatever you all want to talk about. Maybe a controversial tweet on Twitter that's important in a discussion that we should have. Whatever comes up, we'll talk about it here on Real Talk, okay? And I thought, since this is the first episode of Real Talk, I figured we talk about ownership, okay? I am actually currently standing in my first multi-unit rental property, and I did this only at the age of 24, and it's right in the neighborhood that I grew up in, South Shore. And I'm here to tell you all that you can do the exact same thing, okay? So what I'm gonna do here for you all today is give you all 4 solid concrete tips of how you can get right up to the point before you're looking for your first rental property yourself, okay? So, tip number 1, you need to set some sort of goal, all right? That's rule number 1. You need to set some sort of goal for yourself. Now, I know it may sound cliche, like a goal, like, come on, man, like, everybody has a goal, but I'm serious. Set a goal for yourself. Hey, I want to start looking for my first rental property by this date. I want to start, I want to have X amount of money saved up by this date. I want my credit score to move here by this date. You know what I'm saying? Set goals for yourself. If you set a goal for yourself, it's much harder to fall off the path, okay? So that's number 1, set a goal for yourself. Number 2, you have to have proof of income, okay? You need some sort of proof of income. I know people all the time who are like, oh man, bro, I come up on 10, 20 bands, you feel me, weekly, like, you know what I'm saying? The problem is, you won't be able to own your own property if you can't prove where you get these funds from, right? So, if you're self-employed, you need to have a long list of receipts that say, hey, these are the transactions that I made, this is the business that I do, and you need to be able to prove where these funds are coming from, okay? So, have a proof of income. That is like super important. You need to be able to prove where you get your money from. Number 3, also equally important, savings, okay? So this is what I did. Everybody has their own method of how they like to save their money, but this is how I do it, and this is a tip that I got from my chef. Shout out Tevin Taylor, yo to the noobs, you feel me? He says you should do of the total amount of your income. So whatever amount of money you're getting in a month, you need to split it up like this. 50% what you need, 30% savings, 20% for your needs. Now, this may not work for some people. You may want to switch up how you do it. Maybe you end up saving more than you spend because you don't need to spend that much money, or maybe your needs take up a larger portion. But whatever that is, this is just the method that I chose. I use the 50, 30, 20% method. Now, a lot of time, 50% of your income may not all go to bills. Maybe you have something left over. My suggestion would be take that money and add it to your savings so you can get to your goal a lot quicker, okay? A big part of savings is having discipline. You are gonna learn discipline. And it's gonna be easier to stay disciplined when you set a goal, okay? So that's 3, savings. Save as much as you can, okay? Part. Try to have 15 to 20K saved up, all right? 4th thing that you all need to do, okay, is super important. Credit, okay? You either need to build credit, or build your credit back up, or if you don't have credit at all, you need to get some credit, okay? This one's super important, and I can tell you what I did, okay? I went from no credit to a 731 in about 2 years, all right? And this is how I did it. You will need to open up 2 to 3 credit cards, right? 2 to 3 credit cards. Listen to me. 2 to 3 credit cards. Why did I just say that so many times? Because I was thinking, and this is stuff I wish people told me. Nobody told me this. The bank doesn't just want to see that you have a credit card and you can pay your bill every day, or whoever you're going to be getting this loan from to get this building. They don't want to see that just one person trusts you, right? They want to see that multiple people trust you. Multiple people trust you to pay your bill on time, and multiple people trust you to not abuse the money that you have. And when I say not abuse the money you have access to, I mean that you're using 30% or less of the total limit that you have on that credit card. So, what I mean by that, if you get a $1,000 credit card limit, you should only be using 30% or less of that limit at all times, okay? So if you have a $1,000 credit card limit, you should only be using $300. Period. You do not have a $1,000 limit. You have a $300 limit, right? If you have a $2,000 limit on your credit card, you have a $600 limit. If you have a $2,500 limit on your credit card, you have a $750 limit, okay? Never use more than 30% of the total amount of credit that you have access to. Never use more than 30%. But I tell you what, if you do have more credit, guess what? You have access to more money without hurting yourself. So, for example, you got a $2,500, you got a $2,000, and you got a $1,000 credit card. You have access to about $1,600 without really hurting yourself, without really penalizing yourself at all, okay? You start using more than 30% of your total credit card limit, you start hurting yourself, okay? Nobody told me that. Remember that, okay? When you get a credit card, have multiple, 2 to 3. Keep them, make sure you pay them on time, and keep them all under 30%. And I promise you, while you're saving your money, you're making these credit card payments on time, you're gonna look up, no matter what your timeline is, if you are doing these 4 things, no matter how long it takes. Time ain't long, so don't think about how long it's gonna take, okay? Years go by like this. I did not do this overnight. This was years of planning, like this is what I'm gonna do. And now that it's here, I'm here to tell y'all, okay? You feel me? I'm a young black man from the south side of Chicago, South Shore. I grew up same way a lot of y'all did, okay? And all this takes is a little know-how and the knowledge, and then disciplining yourself to get to this point, because I want all of you all to do this, okay? This Black Lives Matter movement and everything we have going on and all the things we want to change, it starts with yourself. And one of the best ways to put yourself and your community in the best position is to be a owner and to have things that you can leverage, you know what I'm saying? So if you take my 4 tips, once again, first one, have a goal, set a goal. Second one, proof of income. Third, savings that you're going to invest, okay? And fourth, credit. You follow these 4 things, and I promise you, do not worry about the timeline. Your time will come where you're gonna say, okay, I am now looking for my first real property, okay? Do these 4 things, and then come check back in with me, okay? I'm gonna make another video describing, in the future, exactly what the process looks like and going through it and whatnot. But until then, you know what I'm saying? Focus on those 4 things. If you already have those 4 things, hit me in the DM, right? If you already sitting on the cash cow and you're looking for other ways to invest, maybe you've done Forex, maybe you invest in the stock market, you still have money left, real estate is the way to go. It is the way to go. It is the way to start and build generational wealth, okay? So that's all I got to say for today. Thank you for tuning in. First episode, TBP Real Talk. So you already know, it's your boy, J Aces, TBP, the big picture, coming again real soon. Y'all stay tuned. It's J Aces. I'm out of here.